Okay, this video is part one of a book report. Here's the book, The Sleep Solution by Chris Winter, MD. He's like a neurologist who specializes in sleep disorders. He first, begins by mentioning that beta amyloid protein is a major neuronal waste product, and the glymphatic system, which is a portmanteau combination word of glial system, the supporting cells of the brain, and lymphatics, the lymphatic system working together, clear out the toxic chemicals from the brain at night while we're asleep. And it works better, the glymphatic system, if we're sleeping on our side. It's natural to sleep on your side. I always start the night off by sleeping right side down because your stomach empties to the right. Just, Google anatomy of the stomach. You see, it always drains to the right. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of barium studies. As soon as the patient lays right side down, whoop, stomach starts emptying out more rapidly. It also keeps it away from the left side of the stomach where the esophagus is connected and can cause reflux. Okay, interesting thing is you talked about students pulling an all-nighter. And he mentioned that the adenosine will keep accumulating, so they're going to be sleepy the next day during the test. But it's worse than that. They can't clear the neuronal beta amyloid protein, so they're going to have more beta amyloid toxin around the nerve cells. And it's an excitotoxin. It also causes inflammation in the brain because it activates microglia, who then release their toxic chemicals. So you're going to have brain fog. You're going to be sleepy, and it's worse than that. The beta amyloid protein itself, besides all that irritating stuff, in addition, the other thing is that you're going to have difficulty consolidating your memories. Because while you're asleep, REM consolidates your memories. It takes the new information, integrates it with what you already know. That's why you often wake up in the morning, you've got the solution to a big problem. Okay, you should write it down right away before you forget it. Sleep deprivation makes you fat because it elevates cortisol, and that is associated with obesity, but it also increases the hormone ghrelin, the hunger hormone. I remember G for ghrelin, G for gastric, stomach. So it makes you hungry, so you overeat, get fat. It decreases leptin. Leptin is the stop eating hormone, leave the table hormone. So again, you overeat and you get fat. You crave junk food, also like processed food and stuff when you're sleep deprived. Poor sleep is associated with obesity, hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure, AFib, stroke, impulsive behavior, major depression disorder, anxiety, car accidents, etc. Just when they impose daylight savings time, when you lose that hour, have to get up earlier than you wanted to, there's more car accidents and heart attacks that day, a significant increase. Shift workers have terrible health, man. You don't want to be doing shift work after you're 30 years of age, especially. They got a markedly increased amount of cancer. Because I can remember nurses tell me, oh, their friend who works the night shift got breast cancer, their friend who works the night shift got melanoma. Here's the cover of the book, The Sleep Solution by Chris Winter, MD, neurologist, sleep specialist. Okay, sleep drive is built up through the day. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine your body produces that accumulates in your brain until you're asleep. It's only when you're asleep that it gets cleared away. So the point I'm saying is that if you don't get your sleep, you're just going to get sleepier. That's why all-nighters are a bad idea. Exercise increases adenosine, which is what you want, so that exercise helps you sleep better. Like I said before, I consider a treadmill the magic sleep machine. The longer you walk, the better you sleep. The faster you go, the better you sleep. I routinely, on a day off, I'll walk routinely 5 to 7 miles. What's next? Caffeine blocks adenosine receptors, so caffeine prevents sleep. Normal sleep, you start out awake, you move into light sleep, then you move into deep sleep. Deep sleep is also called non-REM sleep. The body can move, but it's kind of limp typically. It's a time that's been described by Matthew Walker as the information of the hippocampus, the initial memory storage, short-term hippocampus being like a thumb drive, is then sent, temporary storage, is then sent to the cerebral cortex like a hard drive for long-term storage. And it's largely a one-wave transmission. He likens it to AM radio, going one way out to the cortex. And then he says REM sleep, you go back to light sleep phase, then you go into REM sleep. And during REM sleep, the body's paralyzed, so you can dream safely without moving and acting out your dreams and potentially bumping into your significant other in the bed next to you, or sleepwalking and getting hurt or something. So paralyzing the body enables you to dream safely. And during that dreaming, that's the phase where the EEG waves, they look like you're awake. Okay, or even more so, they're even more active than when you're awake, because all that information is being bounced around with the information stored in your cerebral cortex to see where it fits to integrate it. And that's why the next day you can use that memory more effectively. Typically, adults spend about 25% of their time in deep sleep, and it's mostly early in the night. And the deep sleep is more restorative. After you've got the deep sleep, you feel stronger. It improves bone mineralization, and that's partly because more growth hormone is primarily secreted during that time, and it builds muscle mass, maintains muscle mass. This is why for an athlete, you want to, especially athletes should be told to go to bed early so they get more of that deep sleep. You get deep sleep in the first third of the night especially, so the first half of the night. And if you go to bed late, you lose out on deep sleep. If you wake up early, you lose out on REM sleep. Okay, so REM sleep is the second half of the night primarily, especially towards the end of it. Each average sleep cycle is about 90 minutes. And again, the early sleep cycles of the night are primarily deep sleep. The late sleep cycles of the night are primarily REM sleep. Okay, REM is real important for memory, for creativity, and all that. So if you're an intellectual, you want to be getting your REM sleep definitely, and that's again why you sometimes wake up in the middle of dreaming of a dream and you'll have an idea, or you'll be able to remember the dream if you woke up during it. So anyways, I thought that was interesting, especially that the growth hormone is secreted during deep sleep, and that maintains muscle mass and strength. And that's also why you can feel relatively okay, even if you only slept 5 hours, because you got your deep sleep. But your brain's not going to be as sharp as you want it to be. And in the long run, you're going to start burning out if you don't get more REM sleep as well. So anyways, that's it for part one. I hope you found this helpful.